boy, where you been? It's TeeJay, just rocking with me. You are the smartest, and we back with another video. This time we got a Jimmy High Roller video. He says, I've changed my mind on this debate. I wonder what debate it could be. What debate? Probably the only debate you can be talking about. But we about to see what's going on. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get into the video. Could you turn me up in the headphones a little bit?
After years of judging, critiquing, hating on some of your hot takes, today, I'm gonna share some of mine. It is only fair, after all, that if I put others' opinions up for debate, contention, ridicule, that I do the same for myself.
Okay.
Because like you, I too am just a guy who has a few takes and opinions that I wouldn't dare say out loud in fear of having my ball knowledge put into question.
Okay.
But today, I'm gonna do just that. So here are my NBA hot takes.
Oh, he just got hot takes. Oh Lord. You know, when people hot takes, they hot takes be crazy, like, oh, I think Steph Curry better than LeBron James. Like, well, hot take, let's see what it is. Jimmy High Roller. And we here.
For this video, I thought about some of the opinions I've had over the years about
hey,
players, teams, eras, opinions that I know are probably subjective.
Hot take, hot take. The Spurs aren't really a dynasty. Think about it. They always say it's a dynasty if they get 3 and 4 years, or they're constantly there. You know what I'm saying? Like Warriors dynasty, or the Lakers dynasty when they won 3 in a row, or Chicago's dynasty. But the Spurs, they get one here, lose a couple seasons, 4 or 5 seasons, win one right here, spread it out a little bit more, then they win one right here. See what I'm saying? I don't know now. It could be a Spurs dynasty, but it ain't the Spurs. It ain't a dynasty like everybody else say. Hot take.
And completely false, but I usually try to stay as objective and non-biased as I can. Do my research, refer to film, gather consensus when necessary. But in this video, I'm doing none of that.
Oh Lord.
And instead,
he threw the logic in the trash. Oh, here we go. It's gonna be hot.
Sharing with y'all 5 of my NBA hot takes. All right, so my first hot take is kind of hard to admit. I almost don't even want to say it out loud, but I'm going to. Tim Duncan has become overrated.
Whoa! Oh my gosh. Okay, he's starting off hot. Oh, how?
Now, before you bring out the torches, hear me out. When Tim Duncan was
even though I said Spurs might not be a dynasty, this is hotter than that.
There were maybe a few seasons throughout his 19-year career where he was considered the best player in the world.
Okay.
No one ever thought he was better than Shaq in his prime. Many fans at the time argued that KG had a higher peak.
That's a debate. Some people will take KG, some people will take Tim Duncan. That's a debate. I think that Tim Duncan is the best power forward of all time, though. So I'll take Duncan over Kevin Garnett, but okay.
Than him, although I would disagree with this. And in the moment, for a good decade or so, you would be in the minority if you thought Tim Duncan was a better basketball player than Kobe Bryant.
Nah.
By the time Duncan retired, he was very underrated. Most fans had him somewhere around 15th, maybe just outside the top 10 greatest players of all time. But miraculously, over the past 5 years or so, Timmy has creeped from 15th to 13th to top 10 to where he probably should be, somewhere around 7, to now all the way within people's top 5, even top 3 players.
Okay. Tim Duncan is not top 3 all time. That is a little bit too much. It's definitely no particular order, because I don't want no debates. Bron, Kobe, Jordan, top 3. Boom.
Ever.
Tim Duncan he might be top 5. I don't know.
This isn't just a small community of Tim Duncan advocates pushing this propaganda. I'm seeing Duncan floating
Jordan,
from
James,
top 5 to top 3
Bryant.
all time for a lot of fans these days. Even people claiming he may just be the greatest basketball player of all time.
Wow.
Guys, Tim Duncan was incredible. The best power forward of all time. He is not one of the 5 greatest players ever, let alone the GOAT. And I think what's probably happening here is younger or maybe newer fans of the NBA are looking at his accolades and accomplishments and comparing them side by side to other greats and saying, wow, this guy really did a lot, and his resume
Tim Duncan did get busy, boy.
Is better than just about anyone ever. But if you watched Duncan's career unfold in real time, you would have felt the impact he had on the league and on the Spurs, but you would have also felt the massive role that the Spurs system and Popovich's coaching excellence played on Duncan. He was unbelievably consistent. He was a defensive juggernaut.
Get that shit out of here.
But Duncan was also the beneficiary of the most competent organization in the league that prioritized team ball and continuity. From Hall of Fame teammates he played with for the majority of his career to all-time greats that played big roles in helping the Spurs win championships, Duncan was always surrounded by winning culture and winning teammates. This is by no means a knock on him. In fact, he was a big reason why the Spurs were so cohesive. But only in retrospect would you look at his laundry list of accomplishments and neglect all of the details that came with
big
it.
fundamental.
For many years, the Spurs as a team and organization were seen as this staple of excellence more than Tim Duncan was as an individual. It wasn't Duncan and the Spurs. It was just the Spurs. They were one and the same, not this pretty good team with a fantastically great player on it. But if you just look at his resume, you wouldn't know that. You could argue Duncan had maybe a top 3 career in NBA history.
All over Bosh.
As a player, he's just not on the same tier as Jordan or LeBron or Kareem. I don't know how after he retired, he has slowly crept past Shaq and Bird and Russell and even Magic for some people.
Okay, so he was top 8, 9th, and 10th at the top, and then now they got him top 5. Top 4, top 5.
One of my all-time favorite players. But he is not a top 5 player in NBA history. And it's odd to see a player who was so underrated for...
Where you got Tim Duncan at? How high you got him? How high you got him? I think he could be number 6. So he might not be top 5. He might be 6 though. Because I'm trying to think. Because I already said... If your top 5, first of all, if your top 5 don't have Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron in it, any order, don't talk to me. If you don't got neither one of them in your top 5, don't talk to me. Them 3, then Shaq most dominant, and then I guess you could say Kareem. That'll be my top 5, but I think I'll end up changing it again and again. But those 3 that I said got to be in there. So Tim Duncan, unless y'all got Tim Duncan over Shaq, or Tim Duncan over Kareem, then he wouldn't be in my top 5 for this particular video.
For so many years, become slightly overrated today. Now, I'd like to think of myself as sort of a board member, an executive within the organization of LeBron fans and Glazers. So this next take pains me to say, but LeBron has sabotaged many good situations throughout his time in the NBA.
LeBron has sabotaged many of his situations throughout his career? What's the... Okay, I gotta... All right, here we go. Let's see the logic. Or wait, he threw the logic in the chat. Let's see what you got to say.
And his career as a whole has suffered because of it. We all know that LeBron has been held back by some bad front offices, selfish teammates, terrible roster constructions. But what doesn't get talked about enough is how he has gone out of his way to try to make good situations better and has inadvertently ended up just ruining things for himself in the process. Like in 2014, when he decided to sign with the Cavs instead of staying with the Heat. Why did he do that? Well, we all know why. The Heat were getting old, Wade was past his prime, and the Cavaliers had the cap space and a budding young star in Kyrie Irving to help reel Bron back to Cleveland. This decision eventually led to a championship, but what if he just stayed with the Heat?
Okay, look, if he would have stayed with the Heat, let me tell you what would have happened. They would have been too good to get good draft picks. Don't throw Bam Adebayo up here and Jimmy Butler, because they wouldn't have came, because y'all wouldn't have had those attributes, but you wouldn't have had those assets. That's what would have happened. It would have been too good. They would have been bad to not win championships, but they would have been too good to not get assets on the team. That's what would have happened. The whole team old. Also, Miami, you look at them now, they don't make any moves for real because they overachieve. So because they're overachieving, they don't have to make any moves. I would be sure that they probably won't make no moves in this offseason. They probably gonna re-sign some of they talent that they drafted, but they ain't finna. They got Jimmy Butler, but it's like we just got you, and we just gonna roll with the team that we got. They not think about it. They just lost Gabe Vincent and Max Strus and all those other players. They ain't replace them. That's what was gonna happen. They was gonna be too good because LeBron on the team to get assets to come to Miami. That's what would have happened.
With Pat Riley and Spoelstra, where there's culture and accountability, I imagine his career would have played out even better considering where the Heat are today. Or what about when the Cavs went to back-to-back finals in 2016 and 2017, but since LeBron didn't feel they had enough to win it all, he orchestrated an entire implosion of their roster, which ended up being vastly worse.
They did get worse. But who was, hold on, let me see who was on this team real quick.
He orchestrated
Richard Jefferson, he was old. I don't even know who the hell that is. James Johnson, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is either. Come on, man.
An entire implosion of their...
And this was the reason right here. Kyrie Irving leaving was the reason that they got worse. It was because Kyrie decided to leave. That's what happened. It wasn't because the implosion of the rock. No, because like I said, who was these few people over here? These was end of the bench players. I'll say James Johnson might have been bad, but Richard Jefferson leaving, that was probably bad. Iman Shumpert even probably was bad. So 1, 2, and James Johnson, those three could have stayed. But come on, man. When this boy right here left, that was the problem.
Their roster,
that was out of LeBron control.
Up being vastly worse, and then just left them again once things were beyond repair. Or most recently, when the Lakers won a championship in 2020,
this was stupid.
And instead of reloading with the same roster, the Lakers returned with a whole new...
This was stupid. You just won a championship with these boys. Wait, where Rajon Rondo at? There you go right there. Now, this was stupid. I will say that. This one was dumb. But we can't put that on LeBron. You got to put this on this fool right here. You got to put that on the Pelinka boy.
Just 2 seasons later, these decisions do not happen without LeBron's okay.
I don't want to hear that. I don't like that.
To want more.
And that's not even with just LeBron. That's with KD. That's with Steph. That. I get that he's a superstar and whatever, and these moves don't get made without. Don't do that. I don't want to hear that.
Better, and he can't wait around for it to happen organically, so he tries to force these things to happen. And
then the media also played a part in LeBron doing all this movement too, because when LeBron came in, it was, you got to win championships. They told this boy to his face, he was 18, 19, if you don't make the Hall of Fame, it's a bust. They told him that. There's clips out there. Go search it. Unless I go search. You know what? If I find it, I'll put a video right here.
LeBron James, how does it feel to know that if you're not eventually a Hall of Fame caliber player, it's not good enough to be good or an all-star, if you're not eventually a first-rank Hall of Famer, a lot of people will say you were a bust or overhyped.
But yeah. All right.
When it doesn't work out...
You see how I'm defending LeBron? Hey.
It hasn't worked out a lot. The organization, the coaching staff, and even his own teammates end up taking the fall. As great as he is, LeBron has tried to play GM way too often in his career. And when he can't...
I do not like that narrative, bro.
Or
because when he was with the Cavs the first time, they wasn't making the moves that he wanted. But all of a sudden, when they make the move, it's on LeBron. It ain't on the organization. Come on,
he's out of options. He just moves on to the next new shiny thing. If he just stayed with...
We're going to see if he leave the Lakers.
The Heat, or stayed with the Cavs, or allowed rosters to build chemistry and young players
KCP.
to develop naturally over time. I think his career and the perception of it would probably be better right now. LeBron has willed his way to some of the greatest feats the sport has ever seen.
Yeah.
But he has also sabotaged a lot of good things along the way. Now, here's a hot take for you, and I don't care if I'm wrong. The corner three is not the easiest three-point shot. For years...
Okay, bro. That is a hot take, because that is the easiest shot, because it's the shortest distance.
Everyone has said the corner three is easier than any three-pointer, and so there's an advantage to be had there if you use them right.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly disagree. In the NBA, sure, the corner three is shorter than on the wing or at the top
Exactly.
of the key. But if you play ball, you know this shot is as scuffed as it gets. When you're looking at the hoop straight on, you just have a wider margin of error. You can shoot long and bank it in. You have a better perception of depth since you're looking at the backboard. It may just be psychological, but whatever it is, you cannot convince me that this shot is easier than this shot. According to NBA.com, this season, the league as a whole is shooting 39% from corner threes.
Right.
Whereas above the break, teams are shooting 36.1% on average.
Okay.
Now, that's a substantial difference in efficiency from these two different shooting zones.
Okay.
And it would lead you to believe the corner three is easier. But I think shooting percentage is higher on corner threes than threes above the break for two reasons.
Why?
One, the best shooters in the league, the guys who are on NBA rosters to drill a few threes a game, usually spend the most time in the corner. And since most players who set up shop in the corner are sharpshooters, the overall efficiency from corner threes is boosted compared to on the wing or at the top of the key. And reason number two, a lot of threes taken above the break are pulled up off of dribbles, players flying off of screens trying to square up and get a good shot off. And many times the players attempting these kinds of threes are the best player on their team, but not the best shooters. On the other hand, corner threes are almost exclusively set shots coming off of passes to a wide open man. The very nature of offenses in the NBA makes these corner threes easier than any other threes because plays are often drawn up to get open looks from here from the best shooters in the world shooting set shots with no one contesting. Corner threes, especially
This wasn't a good one.
those real deep ones where you feel like
I get the logic he's trying to make out of it, but this ain't a good one.
you're behind the backboard, are not easier than any other three-pointer. Now, I know I'm going to catch some flack for this next take, and that's okay.
Uh-oh, I see Wembanyama.
Because in a redraft of every player in NBA history just after their rookie season, I would pick Victor Wembanyama first overall.
I don't think that's that much of a hot take. The man is 7'4", shooting like he's Steph Curry and dunking on people like he a big man and blocking everybody's shot. This ain't a hot take. I feel like a lot of people would take Wembanyama number one, and you know, if you just put every player in NBA history, bro. He's 7'4". Yeah, you will take him over Jordan. Yeah, you will take him over all those other people. Come on, man. This ain't that hot now. I can see people take you select Wemby number one. Y'all probably take him over Wilt Chamberlain too. Because Wilt Chamberlain actually didn't score 100 points. There's no footage.
You might say this is just recency bias. You may think I'm crazy, and you're probably right.
Hey.
But Wemby would be my first pick.
All right, look at
his
this.
progression, his poise, his confidence, his skill set, his potential.
Shoot the three, shoot the mid-range, can't block a shot, but he can block yours. Dribbling all crazy. Man, if he played in the 60s and 70s, they'll burn that man because they'll be like, this is a witch. This is witchcraft.
If you lined up every great player since the inception of the NBA, and if we're just going off of what we've seen from them in their rookie season, I would pick the kid in San Antonio. Now, my answer may be different if I were to pick anyone before they played in an NBA game. Maybe it's LeBron or Kareem, but based on what we know so far, give me the 7'4" alien. Wemby can do everything on the court. He's got the offensive skills, the defensive ability, and willingness. From what has been said about him, he is like a sponge with information. He's learning exceptionally fast on the court. And I think what's just as impressive as his physical tools, the kid is not afraid of the moment. He isn't timid, he can talk trash and take it too. He's got heart, and you can...
Man, he finna be a dang problem. If the Spurs can put a team around him, bruh. Oh, Lord have mercy. You saw what happened when they played... See, Wemby, altered how the NBA playoffs end up being. Because he was the one that beat the Nuggets at the end of the year for the last game. They would have been number one, which means they would have played against the Pelicans first round. Then they would have played against, I think the Mavs the second round. Then they would have played, it would have been them versus the Timberwolves possibly. In the last round, but the Timberwolves probably wouldn't have been there because they would probably lost to somebody else. see how stuff play out, and they probably would have been there. But because Wemby beat the Nuggets, they moved to number 2. It's a different road now. Wemby.
Tell he really loves the game. Now, I think some players who are up there with him for the first overall pick in a redraft post-rookie season might be Shaq, Kareem, MJ. Duncan was incredible as a rookie, maybe Hakeem. Overall, their numbers are about equally as impressive. But the thing that stands out about Victor is that he's doing this at 19, 20 years old on a minutes restriction.
He's 7'4".
He's already an elite two-way player, possibly even the best defensive player in the entire league. And he has the advantage of playing in an era where he is allowed to develop a well-rounded offensive game from the post all the way out to the perimeter, something that Shaq, Hakeem, and Kareem never had.
And he's 7'4".
The improvements he's made from his first game this season to now are already so massive that his progress alone really makes him stand out even amongst the greatest rookies ever.
And he's 7'4". Why you ain't saying that?
And quite frankly, I never witnessed these other players play in their rookie seasons. I wasn't there to see it in real time. And
That boy did a one-legged 3.
all the rookies I have seen over the last 15 years or so, Wembanyama is way ahead of all of them. Is this a terrible argument to make here? Sure. Does that change my pick? No. If you can ignore what we know about these players outside of their first season in the league, and if you had to choose one of them, I think Wemby would go first overall. At least for me, he would. By the time these other players came into the league, they were already relatively polished. Jordan was still pretty raw, and LeBron was playing off of sheer athleticism. But Wemby is having one of the greatest rookie seasons ever, and just by watching him, you can tell he's still just learning how to play in the NBA.
Wemby, hot take, it ain't that hot. He finna be defensive player of the year next year.
So not only is he already incredible, he's just barely scratching the surface of his potential. Now, can this take come back to bite me in the ass?
Get that shit.
It sure can, but I don't care. If I could choose any player in NBA history based off of their rookie season and their potential trajectory, I'm picking Victor Wembanyama. Now, I don't know if this last take is even a hot one anymore, but it needs to be said. The 2017 Warriors are by far the best NBA team ever.
I mean, KD, Steph, Clay. That team was cheating, bro. Oh, that team was cheating.
Ever. Not just the best team assembled, not the best team on paper. They are, by a pretty wide margin, the best, most cohesive team in NBA history. Over the years,
that team was cheating, bro. I hated basketball during this because they had to spend the whole year acting like somebody else could have been champion. It's like, bro, stop doing that. They was like, oh yeah, Houston might be able to get LeBron might be able to beat him this year. Blah 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 blah. Stop faking.
People will argue that.
Stop sitting up there acting like KD and the Warriors weren't gonna win that championship. They was trying to sell it. The Clippers might be able to get them. Let's stop faking, bro.
The 96 Bulls were better.
Oh, who are you taking? 96 Bulls or the Warriors? It's the Warriors, bro.
Or the 2000 Lakers.
Nah,
if they're
Warriors,
really
bro.
Out of their mind, they'll
KD
say
Warriors.
The 86 Celtics.
KD Warriors.
But no. The
they couldn't even shoot like that.
2017 Warriors would dog walk any team you put in front of them. They were so good that it pissed people off. They were.
Wait. You said they ruined the basketball. They did though, bro. They ruined basketball for real, bro.
But no. The 2017 Warriors would dog walk any team you put in front of them. They were so good that it.
The Warriors are beautiful, chaotic, and terrible for the future of basketball.
Pissed people off. They were so good.
Kevin Durant makes the Warriors so incredibly unfair. It was.
The painful, hopeless.
Has Stephen A. been proven right about the Warriors ruining the season? All right, knowing that Stephen A. is the executive producer of the show, he did that question for himself, and that's crazy.
That this team inflicted upon NBA fans around the world.
And LeBron just had to sit there and just get beat twice by these, bro. Oh, man.
Has subsided, but I'm sure we can all still remember just how overwhelming this team was.
They was having too much fun. They be up by 30 in the first half, bro.
Really good teams look incompetent. I mean, they had everything.
And then the bench, Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala coming off the bench, man, they had a whole nother starting five on the bench.
Arguably the greatest player in the world at the time, the greatest shooter.
All right, I draw the line right there. KD was still not better than LeBron during this time. He was number 2, but okay.
Ever at the peak of his powers, the most versatile defender in the league, arguably the second greatest shooter ever.
Yeah.
And somehow still managed to have a very solid, well-rounded bench. And not only did they have the most talent, but all of that talent worked really well together. All of their skill sets and intentions meshed about as well as a team could. So not only were they the most loaded team in NBA history,
I'm glad Draymond ruined it.
they all bought in, and they all just wanted to win. So I not only think they're the best team ever, I don't even think it's close. Pick any other team to go against them, specifically the 2017 version of the Warriors, and the opposing team would be lucky to sneak 1, maybe 2 wins in a 7-game series. And those are 5 of my NBA hot takes.
Okay.
Hopefully I didn't alienate every NBA fan.
Nah,
throughout
I
this
had something to
process.
say about
I just
all of
think
them.
It's only fair that after
I had something to say about all of them. Those are some hot takes right there.
sitting on my high horse and judging everyone
Hot take. Orlando Magic will be in the Eastern Conference Finals next year.
else's takes, I share a few of my own. So please go easy on me. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Corner 3 suck. And as always, until next time.
Once again, boy, Jimmy High Roller is amazing. Jimmy High Roller is amazing. NBA hot takes, boy, they were hot, boy. They were, woo! Like, subscribe. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace.